Good morning, everybody. Hello and welcome along to your morning rabble. I hope you all enjoyed yesterday's. And again, a massive thanks to Marvin Andrews and David Mason for coming on the show. Wolf for doing an excellent interview. I hope you all enjoyed it. Something a wee bit different, something that we'll hopefully do from time to time. But it's normal business has been resumed this morning. I'll tell you what, I know that a few people get a bit annoyed at me ranting and going off in tangents, but I'm going up to Arbroath yesterday, see my wee brother play for Dundee United reserves. That is a terrible drive, by the way. Like an awful, awful drive. I thought Dundee was bad. In fact, Aberdeen's probably a wee bit easier, to be fair, than Arbroath. It's an absolute nightmare. Roadworks everywhere, although there's roadworks everywhere, if that makes sense. And that everywhere, I'm sure that was a band. Or was it everything? I can't remember. Morning Aldo, how you doing, my friend? I hope you're well. Um, yes, I am overdue a haircut. I know it needs to be sorted. I know the haircut will be coming very shortly. Very, very shortly, because it's genuinely getting beyond a joke now. Good morning, Scott and Oz. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're well. Who else have we got? Sir Walter, how we doing? Hope you're well as well, buddy. Um, how's your morning going? Well, I started a new wee member show this morning at 9:30. I'm maybe need to relook at rejig the times on that. But Bryan messaged me right after it and said, I thought I'd missed the morning rabble. He thought he'd slept in. So but my morning, I no bad. Apart from again getting stuck in traffic, taking my daughter to school. It's a mile away. Um, yeah. And by the way, that's actually quite apt because wait till you hear the question of the day. You'll know what I mean in a minute. Roy, morning Martin, morning Roy, Kieran Bruce, trying to remember, morning Trips, Bluebells, morning all. So I hope you are all well. What's new, by the way? What's going on in life? I'm spending more and more time stuck in the house. So you tend to be out the kind of loop with people. But let us know what's going on, what's new, how's things, how's it all going. And I suppose what you really want is the question of the day, right? That's what you want. So the question of the day isn't really one that has a correct answer. It's more a preference. So, question of the day. In fact, I'm going to try this really posh. Right, here we go. You ready? Question of the day. Boom. How good does that look, by the way? Are you a morning person or a night owl? That is today's question of the day. I am not a morning person, nor have I ever been a morning person. If I'm in bed before 1 in the morning, then that's early for me. I like to sit up at night, watch TV, um, diddle about with YouTube Studio and try and create stuff for the show and that. But I am not a morning person. What about yourselves? Morning person or night owl? And now you see why that how's your morning going question is relevant. Um, that is Martin's Wilson, like the movie Castaway. I mean, wait a minute, can I take that down? Hold on. Where are we? I suppose I do look a wee bit like Wilson, don't I? I suppose. Uh, and by the way, if you're a morning person or a night owl, why have you always been like that? Um, Let me know. Morning, Martin. Morning, Bears. Good morning, James. I hope you're well. I am blue. That's not easy to say. Morning all the way. Jock's a night owl. RFC 72 is a night owl. Sir Walter's a morning person. Ooh. And Roy, I used to be the same, although I was still a night owl. Even though you need to get up at 5:45 for work, used to start at 6 and half 6, and I was still in my bed for 2 in the morning. James is a morning person as well. Lots of morning people. Wolf is both, struggles to sleep. I think Wolf's one of the guys that probably gets about 2 hours kip a day and is still full of life. See, one of the dead annoying people that can just like sleep for 2 hours and then they're just full of energy. Although you've kind of contradicted yourself because in your picture there, Wolf, it says eat, sleep, Rangers repeat, which would mean that you sleep. So, yeah. Blue Max, night out every day of the week. I love to watch a bit of TV and enjoy a drink. Mornings just make me feel like garbage. Well, minus a drink morning still make me feel like garbage. So yeah, not enough pods around after 9 p.m. in my opinion. If you're a night person, be good to see some late night pods. It's an idea. That is an idea. Although Robert won't be up for that because Robert needs to be in his bed for 10 o'clock. He's very, very stringent on that. Um, Most people are morning. So there we go. I'm going to bring in the producer for the show now, have a wee chat, and then we're going to talk all things Rangers, and we're going to take your calls at 12 o'clock as well. So make sure you're getting ready to get your calls into the show. He's just fixing his hair. It is the marvellous. Brian, how are you?
Very well, very well. I can confirm I am a complete night owl. I hate mornings. I didn't actually realise there was 2 5 o'clocks in one day. I'm certainly a night owl, definitely.
It's mad, but I've been a night owl my whole life, Brian. Like honestly, my whole life, I've always been dreadful in the morning. I've probably slept in from my work more times than I can count. That's how much of a night owl I am.
My problem is if I sleep in, I'm a 40-minute drive away, so I'm really late if I sleep in. So getting up in the morning is not a good. I have to set about 5 alarms just to be sure I don't miss any of them, because there's a high probability that I'll put one of them on snooze or 2 of them on snooze, and if I do that, then it's game over.
Well, see, I used to start at 6:30 in my previous job, and I was in it for 4 years. And when they changed it to a 6:30 start, my alarm went off at 6 o'clock, Brian. I snoozed it until 6:15. I jumped up because I always had my work clothes ready because I knew how bad I was in the morning. Work clothes on, in the motor, zoom to work, get there with like a minute to go.
I wish I could do that. I really do, but I'm a bit of a drive away. So I used to do that when I lived in Inverness, but I could get up at 7:15 and get there for 7:30, but not with a 40-minute drive ahead of me. So I have to set about 4 or 5 alarms just to be sure that I answer one of them.
Well, there's my twin again in the comments. Has to be morning for me as I start at 5:30. But see, you can still be a night owl though, like and still go to bed at like 1 in the morning and get up at 5. I suppose it all depends on how far away from home you are, I suppose. And Bluebell's hitting the nail on the head, Brian. Depends on how much I bevied the night before.
Well, there is that. Yes, there is that. Although I do try and stick to a rule that if I am having a drink the night before or the day before, I stop at 6 in the evening so that I clear my 12 hours before I drive.
Well, there you go. So that is your. In fact, Will Brian's on. I'll try and get it. Look at that. There you go. Question of the day: are you a morning person or a night owl? Please get it in the comments. I'm trying to make these morning rabbles a bit fun. You know, there's so much. We talk about Rangers all the time, and we will go on to talk about Rangers. Don't get me wrong, we absolutely will. But Brian looks as if he's got.
Well, you should know better than anybody about that E96 is like, especially following guys in white vans. No hint. Guys in white vans are a pain in the neck.
But so are people that drive Volvos.
Well, I know, but see that stretch of road, it is torture because everybody's trying to pile through for 7 or whatever time, so it's just chaos. There's lorries, there's everything on the road at that time of morning, so it gets worse towards 9 o'clock, right enough, but even from 6:30 in the morning, that road is horrendous.
Well, I've only ever had to use it once with a coach going from Inverness to Aberdeen.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me actually thinks, is it worth going down the A9 and up the M90 to go to Aberdeen than going the A96?
You would actually think that because it sometimes feels like it takes forever to get from Inverness to Aberdeen, but I can definitely confirm that going to Perth and then along to Dundee and up is far longer.
Far longer. Well,
yes.
Fair enough. So, Brian, what's new with you apart from the cat trying to get in the action?
I know. My weather prediction with Donald Mackay has come through. It is absolutely lashed down all morning since about 5 this morning, so it is horrendous.
Well, it's blue skies in Hamilton.
There you go. See, Scott is right on the money. 40 minutes from Forest Inverness is doing bloody well. Yeah, it really is. Honestly, it's torture.
Scott's just trying to be nice to you, Brian.
See all you southern softies with your dual carriageways and your motorways. You don't know how lucky you are.
Just because all you think you're Norwegian, that's what it is.
We've got the B roads and single track roads and sheep and cows in the road. You've no idea.
Yeah, I know. Well, listen, the less said about sheep, Bryan, I think the better, eh?
Exactly, yes, very much so.
I say, welcome to the Rabble. Guy with the best name, well, clearly the best name is Martin. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. If you look at his profile picture, me and him look identical. So, Martin, welcome to the Rabble members. Thank you very much for helping to support the channel. And of course, you can help to support the channel. And here's what I'm going to annoy. Here's what I'm going to annoy people. But just before I do that, can I just thank James Fowler for upgrading his membership as well? Thank you very much, James. Greatly appreciated. We will be doing the pre-morning show for members most mornings. If there's stuff on the agenda, we will talk about it. So thank you, James, for signing up and helping to support the Rangers Rabble. So here's the bit that's going to annoy you all. 31 likes, folks. 31 likes, 11 minutes in is no good. Come on. Up the likes. Let's get it to 50, then let's get it to 100, then let's get it to 150. And I will stop going on about likes. I will stop talking about them when you just tune in and hit that like button. As soon as the likes start going up themselves, boom, Martin does not speak about them anymore. Yeah. I don't know why you thought I would have a helicopter. Because I don't think there's anywhere in Hamilton to park a helicopter, to be honest with you. But yeah, there we go. So thank you to our brand new members. If you want to also become a member, you can do so by clicking the join button below the window or the link for which is in the description. If that's not your thing, then please just keep liking, sharing, and make sure that you are subscribed. Right, Bryan, latest Rangers news. You discussed it last night on the Monday Night Rabble, as the cat is really starting to get annoyed with you.
Yes, sure.
Obviously, the big news is the John Gilligan press conference. I'm not going to touch on it too much because, yeah, we spoke about it last night. But what I will say is I managed to watch it back in full after last night's Monday Night Rabble because of my journey back to Arbroath. And to be honest, I liked what I was kind of hearing from him. He came across as, if I'm being honest, just one of us, as he came across as a supporter. People were saying that there was maybe a wee bit of digging at Dave King. I'm not 100% sure there was. There was maybe, because I know that Gilligan and King are friends. They've got history together. You know, they came in, and was it 2015 they came in to take over the club. So I don't know if he was necessarily having a dig or he was just being what he felt was honest.
I think he was he was maybe just reminding Dave King of how things should be done rather than shooting his mouth off to the media and TalkSport and whoever else he wants to speak to. I think he was very much just saying to him, look, you know, Dave, if you want to do things properly. You know, it's no use running off to your media pals and saying what you think and what you like. So if you want to do things properly, then you know where I am and you can contact me anytime. Of course, you know, he's got to take his supporters hat off now. He's got to put on his chairman's hat. So, you know, he's probably just acted like a chairman should do, and, you know, reminding Dave King that yes, you are the single biggest shareholder, but at the same time you have to do things in a certain way. And if you want things, you know, if you want to call an EGM, then you have to rabble enough people to raise the EGM, because I think you've got to get I can't remember what the percentage is, but there's a certain percentage you've got to get to raise an EGM, I think. So, you know, I think he was just doing his chairmanship in all honesty, and he was just acting, you know, as he should.
This is a really good point for channel member Bluebells Are Blue. Problem I'm seeing today is the anti-King people who are pro John Gilligan and the pro King people who are anti John Gilligan. Neither is the answer, in my opinion. Candidates need individual scrutiny. It's not he versus him. Now, obviously, there has to be a chairman to come in interim. So John Gilligan's fine to do that job. But I do take Bluebell's point there, Bryan, that it seems to be you're either in the King camp or you're in the Gilligan / Park camp. And I think that this is a dangerous place for us supporters to be in it.
It is. I mean, it's I think in our history as sort of supporters go, we've not always went the same. Excuse me. We've not always sort of went the same way as in the opinions. We've split down many times over players or managers or board members or whoever. We've always somehow managed to split ourselves down the middle, and that's no use. We're a much bigger, better force when we're fighting as one. As Bluebell says, I don't think either. I think both of them have admitted that neither of them is the answer, because they both said they would only want to do it for an interim period of time. So I don't think.
Well, no. In fairness to Gilligan, he said he would do it for as long as it's needed.
Yeah.
He said he would do it for the foreseeable if he wanted. Now, I think a few people, Bryan, have took from that even though he said a couple of months, people are saying, well, maybe he'll be in situ for a lot longer than that.
There is a possibility, absolutely. But if somebody else comes along who fills or fulfills that role, and that he feels will be better than him, then I'm sure he'll step aside. I'm certainly not. I certainly don't think he'll be one of these people that just sits there and laps up the freebies and everything that comes with being the chairman of Rangers. I think he'll do what's best for the club, because he said yesterday, I'm first of all I'm a supporter, but I'm just fortunate enough to be the chairman. So I've got he'll do what's best. I'm quite sure, because Wolf said in one of the pods as well that he's a very clever man, John Gilligan. He's made a lot of money. Good businessman. So I don't think he'll just hang around for the sake of it. He'll stay for as long as he thinks the club needs him, and if somebody else comes along that's better than him, I'm quite sure he'll vacate the room and let him take over.
Right, folks, we're on 57 likes, so we've passed the 50. Let's get it to 100. Let's do it. Come on, if you haven't already gave the show a like on YouTube, then do it now. Like on Facebook and share on Facebook as well would be greatly appreciated. And of course, retweet, like, and follow on Twitter as well. Do you think there'll be a response now, Bryan, from Dave King?
I wouldn't be surprised. It's right up his street. He's almost poked the bear. Just he's wanting a reaction. He's wanting something to happen. He's obviously trying to protect his 15%, I think, stake that he's got in the club. So he's obviously worried about where the club is going and his investment going down, down in value. So he's obviously just looking after his own interests, which is I can totally get that. He's not actually happy with where things are, and his money's not as valuable as it once was. So he's rightly not pleased. So yeah, but he's one. I do think he's one of these guys that he's like a dog with a bone. I don't think he'll let this go. I think he'll definitely be back, and he'll be saying something new very soon. Can't nothing sure of it. I'm quite sure.
And look, Martin makes the point, and I think he's absolutely spot on. I see it like this: someone needs to do a long-term structure. I'll try that again. Well, someone needs to do the long-term. We need structure, foundations, and a plan in place. So when that person leaves, there isn't a mess like this again. Which is fair point, and that's the one thing that not the one of the many things that we've criticised this board for is the people that are on the current board have got us into this position, Bryan. So we need that structure in place, and we need
Absolutely.
the board. We need the board to get up off our asses and start doing it. We need a CEO. We need a director of football. We need an academy director. It's not just all about a CEO. We need a chairman. We need proper structure in the football club, and it needs to be done now.
We need direction, because this is happening quite quickly. We're getting used to second, and the board are happy, and we don't see any change for this foreseeable. This is happening right now. Do
you genuinely think the board are happy at where we are right now? Because I don't.
There's nothing. Well, John Gilligan is the first time that I've seen. Well, apart from obviously the chairman. I mean, the past chairman John Bennett. There's nobody else on that board speaks, so you don't know what they're thinking or what they're doing. You don't even know what they do. And a little bit of what's the phrase I'm looking for? Speculate to accumulate. If they did it when Gerrard was around, if they speculated to accumulate, then we wouldn't be in this mess, because Celtic would have been buried by we'd have been a good bit ahead of them by now. Unfortunately, he wasn't backed by the board, and here we are. We did exactly what they did. They were sleepwalking to 10, and failed, and then we won the league, and then we sleptwalked ever since then, and we've never recovered.
We just completely took our foot off the gas.
Mhm,
And then
absolutely.
didn't spend until the following season when it was too late.
Correct.
Right, okay. Europa League calling on Thursday, Bryan. Are you excited about it? Are you looking forward to it? Or is this, like it is for a few, a hindrance?
Yeah, I'm look as it was said last night. Rangers nights, Thursday nights are Rangers nights, so it's always good to get Rangers in Europe. I mean, I do see it as a slight. At the start of the season, I did see it as a slight distraction that I was more interested in the league, and I still am. But when it gets closer to that game night, the butterflies start going in the belly, and you start getting excited. And it's very much a winnable game, like we said last night. I don't think Malmo Swedish league and the Scottish league are very similar. I don't think Malmo are any stretch that we can't get something over there. And I get the idea that I'm a lot more comfortable watching them away from home than at home. I don't know why. We just seem to perform better away from home in Europe than we do at home. Less pressure. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Well, so, do you know, I'm not. I don't think I'm quite there yet. I think I'll
Mm.
probably be there on game night, to
Yeah.
be honest. And by the way, the reason I bring up the Europa League, could this be for you the potential? And I don't want to play it up too much, but the potential resurrection of Nico Raskin.
There is absolutely every chance of that. We discussed that very thing last night. You know, Raskin, there was green shoots when he came on the last game. He was busy moving, very active around the park. He's everybody knows there's a player in there. He's just had horrendous injury issues, and he's came back and then he's had a setback and he's went out again. So we're kind of hoping now that this is him strong, fit, and ready to go.
The thing for me, and the reason that I bring it up, by the way, 01416287237. If you want to get onto the show, get your points across, make fun of my hair, whatever you want to do. 01416287237. One of the reasons I think that it might be a turning point for Nico this time, Bryan, is because he'll be alongside Connor Barron, who is so good at that, sitting back, mopping up, covering everything. He's available for the ball all the time. I think him and Nico could strike up a really good partnership.
Absolutely. As I said, they've both got very high energy in the middle of the park. I think Nico could feel that he's protected very well with Barron behind him. Barron would just sit right behind and mop up everything, intercept all the passes, make tackles, lay it off. And it might free up Raskin. It might give him that sort of that belief that, there's somebody there beside me that's, willing to do the hard yards like me. And then you've got Bayrami, is it? Bayrami? Bayrami just sitting in front of them in the 10. So you've got three really good, technically gifted players in that midfield. And it's going to change from game to game, obviously, because you've got the likes, as I say, you're playing in Europe, you're going to have to play slightly pragmatic. You're going to have to, take your chances when they come. Whereas in the Scottish League, we're going to have the ball a lot. We're going to dominate, possession. So it's going to be it's going to be different games in that respect. So it's going to be interesting to see how the two of them pair up. I think it's blatantly obvious that they'll be paired up because obviously with the Yefty injury, and we're all assuming that Sterling will go into left back, so that eliminates that sort of issue of who's going to play in midfield. I think Barron and Raskin will be the two sort of 6 and 8s, if you want to call it like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing the two of them because, as I say, it looked good the last game that they played. So here's to more.
Just quickly, at least you've got here. I've said millions of times I'd love to be bald. I just don't have the energy to keep shaving my head. So I would absolutely love to be bald. Apologies if I brought this up before, but it's been starred with Bryan. I'm not sure I've brung it up. But on the question of the day, which is, are you a morning person or a night owl? JD's got an interesting response. Mostly a night owl, but it changes from time to time. It's never changed for me, Bryan.
No, I've hated mornings since probably primary school when you first start to start getting up to go to school. It wasn't that mega early back then. You know, it was probably only about 8 o'clock or 8:15. But the very fact you had to get up at that sort of time of day just annoyed you because you were just off the weekend as well. So, no, I've just never got used to mornings at all. Schools, anything like that. Hated it.
Yeah. Well, I will be bringing you back shortly, Bryan, because we have our first call of the day, and
Perfect.
it is Gary. Gary, how are you?
I'm fine. Nervous as hell for Thursday though.
You're nervous. Well, firstly, before Thursday, are you a morning person or a night owl, Gary?
Night owl, I struggle to sleep at night because me suffering from anxiety and that. I struggle to sleep at night
I'm pretty much the same, buddy. So why are you nervous as hell for Thursday?
because we've got that hot or cold thing again where we're going to the pitch and we're not doing what we should be doing a lot of the time. I mean, I think we're still lacking in certain positions a little bit because I think we're losing too much of the ball too easy. You know, I still think it's going to be sorted before the end of the year, but I think we're still struggling a little bit with keeping the ball or even getting passes strung together or anything like that.
But do you think that, as the manager said, and there's some people that might not be buying into it, Gary, and that's absolutely fair. But what the manager wants to do was never going to be done in one transfer window.
Well, I said that before the start of the season. I didn't think that we were going to be able to challenge this season. I thought it was going to take a season for Clement to sort the team out.
Yeah. But do you see any progression in this team so far? Do you see us?
I do, but I still think that there's still work to get done, and I think that January might be where it's going to make a difference for us, because I still think that Clement's still got a couple of positions that he's looking to strengthen. So I think that if the board are willing to sort the money out for him, I think there's a couple of players that he's going to need to bring in for to cover a few areas.
And just finally, before I let you go, Gary, on Thursday, I asked Bryan, and I'll ask you, could it be the redemption arc for Nico Raskin on Thursday, do you think?
See, I've got a thing about Raskin, right? I had high hopes for Raskin when he first came to us, but for some reason, I think it's a case where some players that we've had in that's had high hopes and they've done the job at other clubs, but when they've come here, it just doesn't seem to work out. If you look at what's happened with players that we've lost to other clubs, they're doing a lot better at the clubs that they're at now than what they've done when they were at us. And I just can't seem to figure out what the problem is, what the issue is. I mean, it's still football, it's still the game. Like, I just can't see why players didn't seem to be able to play when they come to Rangers, but when they go to other clubs, they're able to play a lot better.
I was on mute there. My apologies. That's a very good point, actually.
Right,
Gary, I'll put
I've
that
got
to Bryan.
something.
Thanks very much for the call, buddy.
I was going to say something to you before you went,
Okay.
Martin. Right, see the thing on Dave King,
Yes.
right? I'm fully behind Dave King because if it wasn't for Dave King, we probably wouldn't have had a club. He come in and put his own money into the club for to help us get to a position that we are, right, where we've had Gerrard, we won our 55 season and things like that. But after Dave King left, I think the board has been an absolute joke since Dave King left. And I think with Dave King coming back and calling a lot of the board out, I think it's only going to do the better for us as a whole.
So you're 100% on the Dave King back as chairman for 2 years?
Aye.
Fair enough. Absolutely, everybody's entitled to their opinion. What about the arguments that he's maybe got too many friends in the media, and sometimes he can cause a bit of ruffling of the feathers, for a lack of a better term, in terms of Rangers as a club.
I think that there's a lot of things that's needed to be called out at Rangers, and I think that nobody's had the guts for to call a lot of issues out. And Dave King has been the one that's come out, and he's called the board members out for their lack of support when it comes to managers and things like that. And I think with Dave King coming in actually making his mouth go with regards to the issues that we've got, I think it's only been for the better, because a lot of people have been sleeping through the season by season. And I think Dave King has come in and he's made it abundantly clear that this isn't the way the club should be run.
And finally, then, I know I keep saying finally, Gary, right? I will get to finally at one point. What did you make of John Gilligan's press conference?
I didn't actually see it, if I'm honest.
Well, I would genuinely, and I know that these things can be dead boring, but I would genuinely advise you to go and watch it, because it's slightly. I'll be honest with you, I don't really know where I am with all this stuff, and I'm a bit confused by it all. But I would advise you to go and watch it.
Right. Well, like I said, I've just gone with what's happened with the board when Dave King first came to us. Right. Then when he left, once he got the club onto an even platform, and that, then when he left, it just seems to be after Dave King had left, the board has actually put us on a downward spiral. And I think that it was maybe something good hearing that Dave King was coming back, because we need somebody that's going to be able to push the board. I know that it's been said that Dave King's looking for to bring more investors into the club, but I think he's also going to make sure that the board is pushing what they can do instead of sleeping through a lot of the season.
Fantastic call, Gary, my friend. Many thanks, and make sure you phone back.
Right, no bother, Martin.
Cheers, buddy. I think this Dave King debate is going to roll on. Producer Bryan, I'll bring you back in. I actually want to focus on something else that Gary said there rather than the board stuff. And when I asked him about Nico Raskin, he says, basically, why is it that loads of players can come in to Rangers, not perform well, and then when they go to clubs at an equal level in terms of ability, they shine? Why is that?
I think it's the old adage that sometimes the responsibility and the sort of the shirt, the jersey just is sometimes too heavy.
Do you think so? Really? Because like Gary says, it's football.
I know it is, but we've seen bigger and better players come to Rangers and not perform and really struggle. I mean, you had Bruno Alves, right? Bruno Alves is one of the best sweeper defenders that you'll ever get. Really struggled at Rangers big time.
But could you not say that he was at the end of his career, and some players fall off a cliff at the end of their career?
Yeah, you could say that, but at the same time, it's just one of those things. With many people have said it before that it's a very difficult atmosphere and sort of place to play football. You've got 50,000 people, scrutinizing you every week, every pass, every tackle's getting scrutinized. And if there's a pattern of mistakes, folk form an opinion and you're almost thrown to the rules. It's just it's a fact, simple fact, I'm afraid, when it comes
you're saying it's a simple fact, but Jock Blue channel members asking, why is the Celtic jersey not heavy then? I don't see all the players that come into Celtic, right? I just don't. I just see the odd headline that you see on social media. But the majority of their players, it seems anyway, fit right into their team.
Maybe their scouting system.
Why is it different for us?
Well, maybe their scouting system's slightly better. I don't know. They're maybe picking better characters. It's just maybe they're just doing better due diligence, and they're signing better players who are more sort of either. It's just they're just signing better players who've got better characters. I don't know. It's a difficult one, but it is very pertinent that when we sign players, they take ages to settle in, whereas them lot sign somebody and they start them straight away and they start scoring goals. That's the thing that annoys me about our signing policy, is that when them lot sign somebody, they're straight in and they're playing and they're scoring goals for fun, and then our guy, we're like, oh well, we've got to let them settle in. Oh, they've got to build their furniture from IKEA. We've got to let them do this. No. You sign for Rangers, you come in, you start straight away. No messing around. There's no better buzz for the fans when a new signing starts. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody's buzzing to see the new player. They're all dying to see him. The excitement's there. If you sign them, get them in.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to let you go for a second, Brian, because we've got a second call of the day, and it is our good friend Scott in Sydney. Scott, how are you?
Martin, how are you, pal?
I'm not bad, buddy. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Brian. Nice to meet you as well. Also,
Well, Brian's. I can't get two people talking to the calls at the same time, unfortunately, right now. So Brian has disappeared.
No,
So you'll just have to settle for
no
me.
way. Well, that's all right, mate. How are you anyway?
Yes, my friend, I'm not too bad. I'm going for a haircut shortly, which will appease everybody. But what's your thoughts on this fine Tuesday morning?
Mate, I just want to have a little chat about Gilligan. I didn't mind his interview. I thought he spoke well. He's been asked a lot of stupid questions by media types I've really got no time for. I noticed there was even an Irish guy in the press box asking questions, pot shot questions as well, trying to trap him, and I've been getting messages all day from certain Celtic fans I know harassing me with the same sort of rubbish. He spoke well. As far as the King stuff goes, I think Dave King's good. I think Dave King has the best interests of the club at heart. I really do. The bloke spent multiple millions, not just his present investment. He even spent money in, dare I say, the evil Steel Tycoons days as well. He funded the Advocat side. This bloke's no mug. And if he's out there mouthing, what I like about Dave King is the fact that he's gutsy. He's willing to say things that no one else will say. He's not playing woke mind games with media, trying to pretend that we're this woke club now. No. He is staunch and he loves the club. And if he's a little bit controversial, if he's a little bit annoying, who cares?
Also,
I think it's important. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, buddy. I was just going to say. Also, I enjoyed. I liked the John Gilligan press conference as well. He came across as a down to earth guy, albeit he's got a lot of money. But he came across down to earth as just a normal, regular supporter. But that still, Scott, doesn't change the fact that we are where we are right now because of this board.
No, it doesn't, and that's exactly right. There's where do I want to go with this?
Careful.
I know. I believe we're going in the right direction, whether it looks like that or not. I really do. I think there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes that nobody knows about that are slowly but surely working in our favour. I think Gilly will steady the ship. He seems like a lovely man. Good on him for having a lot of money. He's managed a beer company. Cool. Dave King is a proper businessman. He might have had his history. Yes, he's made some dumb decisions. I mean, the fact that he brought Pedro Cachina, or he was a part of that, I'll never understand that. However, he's done more. He's done more good for Rangers than bad. And yes, the board have to get a few things right. They've got to get a lot more right in the coming weeks. But I just feel that the King returning is a really, really good thing. And if they can just get behind closed doors, shut the media up, get the Holycom agents away, and just do business properly, quietly, and let Phil manage the side, and they do their business properly behind the scenes, things are going to work out well. They really are. I don't think all the noise that's bad around our club is mainly outside noise from deliberate media attention. It's all coming from one source, and it's paid sources as well. Constantly chipping away. Wouldn't matter what we did. Made a European final 2 years ago, and it's like that didn't even exist. It's like that. It's like this constant negative agendas against us, and it's coming from. It has to stop, and we have to stop it as a people, as a fan base, and it really has to stop. King, for me, he can. I think he's serious. I think he's got investors, and I think we need to. That's the way we need to go. Let him agitate. If he wants to, carry on in the media a little bit, that's fine. I think we should go with him. That's my opinion.
And I can't let you go, Scott, without asking the most important question, which is, are you a morning person or a night owl?
Mate, I'm a bit of both. I get up at all sorts of times in the morning to watch Rangers. So on Saturday, I had a few beers in the Arvo, came home, went to my bed, got up at 2:30, and then I was back in bed at 5:30 after the game, after aftermath, and watched the podcast and whatnot. So, mate, I'm a bit of both.
I know it's that you actually take it for granted living in Scotland that you can actually watch Rangers at a time that suits. You don't need to get up at 2:30 in the morning to watch Rangers. That's dedication, Scott.
No, mate. Yeah, it is. But I love it, and I won't change it. We're up at 2:40. We're playing Malmo here, 2:45 a.m. Friday morning. So I'll be up. I've got a few mates from our little group chat, older Scottish boys that all love Rangers, and we've got a little commentary team we have, and back and forth during the game. So we'll all be up, and yeah, it's awesome.
Spot on. Scott, always love your calls, buddy. Thanks very much.
No worries, mate. We are the
soon.
people. Take care.
Cheers. 2:30 in the morning. Bryan, 2:30 in the morning. I'm normally just going to bed at that time.
I'm just crying thinking about getting up at 2:30 in the morning. Again, I didn't realise there was 2 2:30s in one day. Oh, that's just brilliant. I mean, I'll still be up at 2:30, yes, but I certainly wouldn't be getting up at 2:30, I'll tell you.
By the way, just quickly, we've got time for one more call if you want to get on. 01416287237. Get that call in. Again, like I said to Scott, by the way, some really good points, and I want to bring a couple of them to you. But just before I do, we must take it for granted, like Scott in Australia or people in New Zealand or Canada, the times that they need to get up to watch the footy.
Yeah, I mean, the west coast of America is probably exactly the same. California and out that way. I think Las Vegas and places like that, and Australia, New Zealand, and Far East, and places like that have to get up at absolutely ridiculous times to watch us, and it's mind-boggling. But that's what the club does to you. It just gets it in you, and you can't miss a game. And it's absolutely admirable. I mean, I don't know if I'd manage it. I mean, I'd have to schedule my sleep far, far better than I do now. But hats off to these guys that get up at silly o'clock and watch Rangers. It's just unreal.
Right. Bryan, I'm going to let you go because I've got Tony on the line. Tony, how are you doing?
I'm all right, pal. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Are you a morning person, Tony, or a night owl?
Oh, I'm up early in the morning every day.
I'll say I'm the opposite.
Doesn't matter what time I go to bed, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever, I'm always up.
See, I don't know how people can do that. I don't know how they can do that. Hey, what's your point, bud?
Well, the bloke who was on before, and he turns around and says about the Rangers players who leave Rangers, he seems to think that they play better at the other teams.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know one Rangers player in the last 2 or 3 years has been successful.
James Sands, Cedric Itten, Glenn Kamara.
Glenn Kamara, not really.
Quite a few.
Well, Morelos, Kent, Lumsden.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Oh, there's been a few disasters.
Been bad.
Absolutely.
That's why I couldn't believe what he was saying. I don't even think Sands wasn't that great at Rangers.
No.
Supposed to be in midfield and he played him centre half, but he wasn't a great player.
No.
The only decent one is left, I think.
Sorry, Tony.
The only decent one I think is left is Patterson, but it's a shame he's had injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Same as Kieran Tierney. They're two good defenders, but they've been plagued with injuries, both of them.
Oh, I said for a long time, Tony, that if Kieran Tierney, maybe he was overused at Celtic, I don't know, but if he wasn't so injury prone, he'd be in the Scotland squad ahead of what's his name, Robertson. I think he's a better left back.
Yeah,
but there has been a few, Tony, that have left Rangers and went on to do better than what they've done at Rangers. That was the point, that we've had so many players over the years who have came in flattered to deceive and then went on to have decent careers.
Yeah. Oh well. All right, mate. Thanks for taking my call anyway.
No problem, buddy.
And I hope they sort out the CEO and the chairman and everything else and get back to the football.
I can't wait to just talk about football, to be honest with you.
Yeah. All right, then, pal.
Cheers, buddy.
All right, then. Bye, mate. Bye.
I mean, Bryan, yeah, there has been quite a few that have left and not done much. But there's also been a few that have left and went on to do just as well or better. And I mean, I take Cedric Itten. I know he was on the bench in the Champions League the other night, but he went on and scored goals. We've had Calvin Bassey, who didn't have the best of times at Ajax, but has went to Fulham and done quite well. Nathan Patterson, like Tony said, went on and obviously got injuries, which obviously hasn't helped him. Glenn Kamara's went from Leeds over to France, I believe he's at now. He's playing really well. Nice, absolutely. Nice to go to Nice. Nice to go to Nice, yes. I'm going to let you go down for one more second, Bryan, because I'm going to bring in the final call. Hello and welcome to the Rangers Rabble podcast. Hello, how you doing?
How we doing? All right, Martin?
Not too bad. Who's calling?
Martin.
There we go. Lots of Martins today. Lots of Martins.
So the Martin Bahari that became a member, that's me.
Oh, is that you? Is that what you look like?
Aye. I'm a bike mechanic and I'm a psychologist as well. Part-time bike mechanic. Used to be a bike mechanic when I was a young boy, but I went to Glasgow University and Glasgow Caledonia University, done my psychology degree and a nursing degree.
Well, I've done my podcast degree and it's not really helped me, if I'm being honest with you, but there we go. What's your thoughts, Mark?
I don't understand why Celtic supporters want to come on a Rangers podcast and speak. It's a bit weird to me, but
I'll stop you there, right? I don't actually mind it, to be honest. See if they want to come on and make valid points or have a discussion about something that we've spoke about or something that they might disagree with. See, as long as it's balanced and fair, it really doesn't bother me. However, I do take your point. I have never in my life clicked on a Celtic podcast because I just purely don't think I could. But I've nothing against them wanting to come on and have a conversation.
I just think it's a bit weird if you're a Celtic supporter. Why would you want to come on and even dial a Rangers podcast, phone in just to get a conversation? Why not just stick to a Celtic podcast?
Maybe it's just my dashing good looks and personality.
Maybe it is your voice and stuff like that. Your Frank Sinatra tone and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Are you a morning person, Martin, or a night owl?
So I think I replied to you that I got up at 5:30 in the morning. Yeah. So that's me starting work. At 5:30 in the morning. I would say I'm a morning person. I've always been a morning person, to be honest, because my career has drove me to early shifts, so it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock to bed and all that kind of stuff. So
I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
But everybody's different. If everybody was the same, the world would be boring. If we all went in the same direction,
and everybody would support the one football team if everybody was the same, I suppose.
Wouldn't that would be the Glasgow Rangers who were going to...
Exactly, it would be. I'm keen to get your thoughts on something that I put to Bryan, Martin, about Thursday. And by the way, yeah, 4 likes away for 100, so come on, get those likes in, folks, and then I'll stop asking, right? Easy. I brought up Nico Raskin, and I asked Martin if it could be somewhat of a redemption arc maybe for him. Maybe that's too strong language, but has he got the chance, do you think, now that he's back from injury, to come in and kind of make that position in beside Barron his own?
I think he's a decent player. I rate him. I just think he's injury prone, and I think he's lacking a wee bit of confidence. Give him that wee bit of confidence, give him the minutes, and you'll see him striving. I think he's no the worst player that we've got in the club in that position. If you know what I mean. I think we're in a good position, place. I know Clement's come out and says some idiotic stuff with pre and post media reactions and all that kind of stuff, but I think he has got it spot on that we will see the best of our team October and maybe getting into the middle of November. And now we're starting to see it because everybody's gelling, Shefty and all that. The good thing about Saturday was the cup game against Dundee, we started with front three and we finished with front three. That's a positive for me.
Oh no, absolutely. And are you happy with the options that we've got there now?
I think we've got depth, and the new players are starting to come in and make the positions their own. Look at Shefty with Ridvan. Ridvan will not get into the team now. That guy's outstanding.
Yeah, I would go along. I mean, it's early days, Martin.
Out with an absolute demonic red card at Hampden against Kiev. And that wasn't a red card. The guys made that position his own.
That was dreadful refereeing. And see, when you said demonic and paused, I was a wee bit feared of where you were going there, by the way.
No, I don't swear. I try and make up some words that are only swear words and stuff. I wouldn't do that.
It's difficult. It's really difficult, isn't it? I
know because we're all passionate about the club. Do you know what I mean? We're all passionate about the club, and we want to swear, and it's adrenaline it takes you to make you want to swear. Do you know what I mean? But I wouldn't, because I respect. It's a good podcast. That's why I've became a member and all that kind of stuff. And I like to listen and contribute. You know what I mean? Because I'm a Rangers diehard, and that's me.
Super. You know, well, Martin, listen, I really appreciate your calls every time you phone. So make sure you phone again, and I hope you enjoy all the members.
Can I just say this one thing?
Yes.
I think on paper we've got a better team than Malmo. Mm-hmm. On paper, we are a better away side in Europe than a home team, and I think we'll win. I think we'll get a 2-1 or a 3-1 win.
Well, let me ask you before you go. Let me put this question to you then. Does it make any difference that they're 20 odd games into their season?
Doesn't matter.
No,
really. We'll beat teams that are better than them, aren't we?
Yes,
really.
I would agree.
We're Glasgow Rangers. We don't fear anybody. Shouldn't fear anybody. We've got a good team, good striker. He scored 7 in the last 9 games, I think it is now.
Yep.
Dessers. And the guy's got absolute critiqued and pelters after the support. Now you're seeing the real Dessers, Cyril Dessers, coming to the forefront.
100%.
But I think the only negative that I would say is I think Tavernier's finished. I think I wouldn't play Tavernier on Thursday.
I think there's a lot of people that would probably agree with you there, to be honest.
I think that's our weakest link. If there's any weakest link in their team, it's Tav, because now teams are starting to focus on that left hand he has, like Maeda you could put the kettle on for Maida, beating them 9 out of 10 times and running pace wise.
You keep bringing up points where I can't let you go, so I need to bring up another point.
On you go then.
Stop making good points, Martin. Jeffy being out on Thursday. Do you think that's then Sterling slots into left back, which would then obviously mean that Tav would be guaranteed to be starting right back?
Aye.
Fair enough.
Aye, I would.
That takes away the point about not wanting to have to start on Thursday then, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? That makes sense, doesn't it?
No, unless he's going to chance the new boy, who none of us can pronounce his name, but I very much doubt it.
What's the new boy's name?
I don't even want to attempt. Martin, thanks so much for the call, buddy. Really appreciate it.
Cheers, mate. All right, take care.
You want to have a go, Bryan, at pronouncing the new boy's name?
No,
right
I've already declined that invite because I have no chance of. I would Alan Brazil, as they would call it.
Yes, and I think Alan Brazil does it on purpose, by the way.
Well, I think he maybe does, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely does. Listen, there's plenty of content left there that I will pick up tomorrow morning, before obviously the European game on Thursday. We are back tonight for members at 7:30. Hold on a second, Bryan. You can come in a wee second. We are back at 7:30 tonight for members, and then tomorrow night is episode 2 of Martin and Edgar Talk Rangers on the Rangers Rabble YouTube channel at 7:30. Morning Rabble all week at 11:30. Loads of content. For members, check the community members page. I've put the schedule up there for all the members shows. Make sure you check that out. Bryan, you wanted to come back?
I just wanted to wish a certain Alister McCoist OBE a happy 62nd birthday today. The biggest hero in a lot of people's hearts, and I just wanted to wish him I hope he has a great birthday.
Do you know who else's birthday it is today?
No.
Gary McSwiggan.
Is it?
Yes.
Scored one of the best goals you ever see at Ibrox.
Do you want to talk us through it, Bryan?
Yeah, it was... Excuse me, it was a cross from the left, and somehow he was on the 18-yard line, and he headed it beyond. I don't know what the goalie was. What's the goalie doing? The goalie was nowhere, and put it in the back corner, and that was the marvelous game against. I think it was Marseille.
Yes,
I think that was the Marseille game. So,
yes,
because Hateley got the second equaliser quickly after, but McSwiggan scored a fabulous goal at Ibrox with a header from the 18-yard line. Unbelievable.
And we're on the hour mark, right? But there's so much more to talk about. The fact that Alister McCoist is 62 is terrifying, right?
I know.
That is absolutely terrifying, the fact that he's 62. But the
Carry on if you want.
The B
I'm not
team...
doing nothing else.
Well, yes. The B team are playing right now against, I believe it's Huddersfield. I think it's currently 2-1 to Huddersfield. I'm not sure who got the goal for Rangers. I'm just trying to figure that out. Inciala starting for the B team again, Bryan. But of course, you know who I'm going to bring up. And it was Finlay Curtis with the goal for Rangers, by the way, which really doesn't surprise me. That boy's a goal-scoring machine. And Wolf Marshall makes the point that I'm just about to make, Bryan. Hagi again in with the B team. I think this is probably one of the last times that we will discuss this, because that situation I don't think is going to change, and there's no point in continuously talking about it.
No, for a guy that's earning 20 whatever it is a week, 1,000 a week, for him to be languishing in the B team really isn't acceptable as far as I'm concerned. There was a perfect opportunity to let him go in the summer if he wanted to go somewhere else and play football. That's absolutely fine. But to then keep him and not play him in the first team for the sake of, what was it, £8,000 a week?
£8,000 or something a week.
Yeah, for the sake of that, I find it unacceptable. A guy of his quality languishing in the B team. I'm quite sure that Hagi could have contributed in a positive way, in recent games, and certainly the start of the season, than some of the other players have. So for me, it's just an unacceptable situation. If the manager didn't want to keep him, as I say, fine, let him go. He had ample time in the summer to let him go. Maybe there wasn't clubs in for him, I don't know. But there was rumours that there was Fiorentina, there was Turkish teams like there always is. But I find the whole situation with a guy on 22,000 a week playing in the B team unacceptable. It's not a good use of wages as far as I'm concerned.
No, it's really not. It's really not. And like I say, Brian, we can't continuously keep talking about it because the situation is just the same, and I really, really don't see it changing.
Just grind your gears.
Yeah, and do you know, I'm going to leave it to tomorrow because I think I'm on with Ian tomorrow. And there was a couple of the callers there, Scott and Martin, were talking about the positivity that they see and the squad that they think that we've got. So I want to talk about that tomorrow morning, actually, along with more questions of the day. I'm constantly looking to upgrade and change certain things about the morning shows, bring in different promos here and there or whatever, to try and freshen it up a bit. So it's slightly different to everything else you're watching. Bit of a laugh, bit serious, bit of a laugh.
I noticed there was a very early on in the comments there was a I wouldn't say heated discussions, but there was opinions flying around of which condiments they use in their rolling sausage and Lorne sausage and whatever.
I've seen that. Square or Lynx? No,
well, Square Link, and then it was brown sauce, red sauce. I mean, that
never
was
brown sauce. Never brown sauce. Who's having brown sauce?
Nah,
Who's having HP brown sauce? Other brands are available, apparently. But you know, I started off when I was younger. It was always Square, and now I think I'm moving towards Lynx.
I'm Link all the way. Link and red sauce.
I mean, why does Gallant not know what the morning question was? That's
he joined late, to be fair. He joined late.
It's not acceptable. Gallant is supposed to be the pioneer of the Rabble. See what I've done there? See what I've done? I don't know how I've not got a comedy gig yet. The question was, Gallant, are you a morning person or a night owl?
I think we're about to get panned here for the brown sauce gang. They're starting to flood in.
You've said I'm Lynx all the way and we're about to get panned by the brown sauce. Are you trying to get this show clipped up, Brian?
No, I'm a Link and red sauce man. That's my go-to.
Although,
sometimes I might even spoil myself with a wee egg on top as well.
Do you know what I came to late on in life? I think I was 26 the first time I tried it, and now I love it. Haggis.
What? See, I like haggis, but I hate black pudding. Absolutely.
I love black pudding.
Oh no, that.
I absolutely adore black pudding. I'm not bringing the fried bread or toast conversation back in because that still seems to be gone. That's got arms and legs. But listen, folks, we have made it to brown sauce is manky. We've made it to 123 likes. So thank you all for liking. And listen, the day that I tune in and you have all just liked it, and I don't need to mention it, is the day that I'll be happy as well. But this is my full-time job now, so I need your support. So like, subscribe, share on whatever platform you're watching. And of course, if you want to help the podcast even more, then you can join as a member now. Click the join button below. If the join button isn't there, click the link in the description. Pick the tier that suits yourself and help support. I don't even know if we are fan media. We're a podcast. I think we're just a podcast.
I think fan media is very much heart of hand, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I don't want to misquote us by calling us fan media. We're just a podcast. So if you want to help support that podcast, then you can do so simply by liking, sharing, and subscribing, but also becoming a member as well. So thank you very much, everybody. I really enjoyed that today, Brian.
Absolutely, and that just riles me even more.
I refuse to be friends with people who put pineapple on a pizza.
Yeah, it's just not on.
Cut them right out of my life.
Yeah, it's not on. It really isn't.
Look, KW, I know Joe Rogan's a podcast, right? But there's nothing I can do that would ever get me to the level that Joe Rogan's on. I don't see Spotify offering me £100 million deal for the Rangers Rabble podcast. I really don't. But listen, Brian, thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in this morning. To all the members, we'll see you tonight at 7:30. Everybody else will see you tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow night with David Edgar. So thank you for tuning in, folks. Speak soon.